What's up, you guys? EVOL here with another Quake Live duel commentary. I got some new audio toys. My band has been recording an EP, so we picked up a nice 4-channel mic preamp, and we're using my brother-in-law's nice condenser microphones from the Blue Microphone Company, so they're really nice. Anyway, sorry for the shaky cam here. I'm just kind of holding it up. The winter beard is in full effect, looking good. I'll probably shave it once summer hits, but it's pretty cold up here in Seattle. So anyway, let's jump into the game. I've been playing a lot. I know I haven't been doing the dual commentaries much. I've been trying to watch a lot of pro games and like really try and understand their games and improve my own. And sorry I haven't been documenting it as much. I don't have as much time as I'd like. Actually, before we jump into the game, I already recorded the commentary for the game, and at the end I kind of forgot to point out a couple of things. There's things that I definitely need to work on. One is trying to get those spawn kills, especially on a map like ZTN, where so many of those spawn kills and those locations are just so well known. And I just leave. I don't wait for it, and it's a big mistake on my part. Another thing is just learning how to be aggressive and get those kills. There's so many players I play against where if I'm in control 80% of the time, maybe I'll get 4 or 5 frags out of it. And then they're in control the other 20% of the time, and they get 8 or 9 frags. So even though I dominated the map, they win. And so I really need to learn how to be better at the defense, so I'm not giving up those frags in such a short window. But also I need to learn how to convert my control into a score. And that's a huge problem for me. Definitely something I need to work on. Anyway, sorry for the long intro. Let's get into the game. Thanks. Here we go.
3, 2, 1, fight.
I'm going to pause right off the bat. This is a spawn I really like. I don't know if you guys if you've seen Pretty Awesome's video where he talks about a lot of common spawning situations on ZTN. I like this spawn because you're basically guaranteed to get the red armor, and if they spawn in the plasma room, upper YA, most players, well, I don't know, maybe it's a 50-50 split. Some players will go for the plasma gun and then the yellow armor, in which case you might end up getting both red and mega. So most players will just run straight for the red armor. If they do, you're basically guaranteed a frag. They're going to jump right into your shotgun, 2 shots, and they're dead. And then you get red and mega anyway. A lot of players won't go for the shotgun or the red armor. They'll jump all the way down to rail, which is probably smarter, because if they spawn in the rocket launcher room, then they're going to either get rocket launcher and YA, or sometimes just YA if they spawn on the ground, and then they're going to go for mega. From here, I could jump down to the rail gun, and as he's going for the mega, I get a free rail. Then I go through the telly, and I can pick up red armor anyway. In fact, a lot of times you go through the telly and you wait for him to get LG, come up the jump pad, and as he comes out, you get a second rail, and then you can really cripple him, and then you get red armor anyway. I tend to just jump for the red armor, and then I'll go for the rail gun, and sometimes I still get a lucky shot against a better player that is faster and goes right for the mega. It doesn't usually happen that way. But the reason I always go for the shotgun instead of jumping for rail is in case they spawn in the plasma gun yellow armor room and they go for the red armor. So I didn't hear him, so I didn't even look down the corridor. So pretty standard. He got rockets, which means I know he didn't spawn on the ground. So I figure he's going to get lightning gun and come up here, probably try and get that upper yellow. I know he's already got the lower yellow, and now he knew I was there or anticipated that I might be, because he shoots the lightning gun there, but I got the rail, which is important. That lower YA that he picked up is now completely negated. Armor soaks up 66% of the damage, and rail does 80 damage. So that means it knocks off 53 armor and 27 hit points. So he just lost his 50 armor and about 30 hit points of that mega health bonus. That's good for me. So now I'll finally get shards, come down to rocket launcher, and now I don't know if this means that... no, I guess he probably grabbed yellow and then came around through the upper corridor and figured he would try and deal damage to me as I was picking up the rocket launcher. That's some pretty good thinking on his part. But he doesn't do enough damage with rockets, and I get a second rail, which means both of his yellow armor pickups have now been completely negated. So that means I'm in a pretty good position to pick up this red armor. I think it was a mistake for me to have my lightning gun out just because I'm giving myself away with the sound. Also, I'm going to rewind a second here. I just jumped blindly, and I don't think that's a good idea. Usually you want to do kind of like that fake jump to see if they're setting up a trap, peer over the ledge, see if they're down their rail, look in the other corridor, and I just have a lot of bad habits here at the red armor. 9 times out of 10, I just jump blindly. I just get these big eyes like, oh, hey, shiny red armor, I want that, and I go for it. That's why I lose against better players. Anyway, he gets some rocket splash on me, and he does really good rocket damage, and I definitely made a mistake using the railgun there. I get the kill, but only just so. You know, I'm down to 9 health. So fortunate for me that, you know, I'm able to replenish a little bit with the yellow armor and the mega. But I wouldn't say I have complete control. Now, I was going to, because I was going to pick up this upper yellow and then be in a great position to pick up the next red, but he gets that rail on me. And it would have made getting this next red a lot more difficult, but he gets a little bit greedy, and he goes for a second rail, and he takes a full rocket for it. That puts me in a better position to try and push him off of this red for sure. Let's see. All right, I'm going to slow it down, and I'm going to actually, let's see. Players, bind to, follow one. So let's watch things from his perspective. He's definitely backing off. He's got to be weak. I don't know how weak, but he also knows that the red armor is spawning. I guess I figured he wouldn't go for it, and my sense of timing must have been off. And right here, you can see him jumping away from the red armor platform. Now, I didn't hear the armor pickup, and I must have had the timing wrong because I end up making a huge mistake here. Let's go back to my point of view. And listen to the sound. You'll hear him jump a couple of times, kind of fading away, going down that sideways corridor by shards down to the rocket launcher. Okay, there was the 2 jumps. I probably didn't hear them over the sound of me shooting rockets, or maybe it was nerves. I don't know. Anyway, I make a big mistake here. Let's go back to full speed. I think that the red armor has not spawned yet, so I'm waiting for it to come back up. I didn't time it to the second, or I did and I forgot it, and so I ended up being out of position for this next mega health. So I gave up red and mega. I had him weak, but then I gave him both major items, which is not good for me. And then he ends up following up with an actual kill. So at this point we're tied, but I'm not the best player out of control on ZTN. I don't actually, we'll talk about that in a second.
Impressive.
I get the 2 rails on him, which is good, but was in a bad position and he just ran straight at me, got some rockets, picked up another kill. All right, what I was going to say is I'm not the best defensive player on ZTN. Like, I know where I'm supposed to hide, pick up yellow armors, pick up shards, get the timing on the major items, set traps, do damage. I understand all that. The problem is that I never think about where my opponent is. I guess I'm just focusing on my aim and timing and other mechanics that I just haven't devoted enough brain power to trying to understand where my opponent is in the map. And that's something that's important because when you're out of control, you have to be careful. I can't just barrel down. You know, if I spawn at rocket launcher, it's like, well, hey, I want the rocket launcher. I want the lightning gun. So I'll pick up rocket launcher, and then I'll just strafe jump over to the lightning gun. Against better players, you're just going to give them a free frag. You have to know if it's safe to go across. You have to try and anticipate where your opponent is going to be, and I don't do enough of that. And so you're going to see that I run into him, and it's almost like I'm surprised, like, well, hey, what are you doing here? Well, I'm not thinking about where he's going to be in the map, and because of that, I give up, you know, a couple of frags here. There, I actually knew the timing on the Mega, and for some reason figured I would challenge. Maybe it was because I'd hit those 2 rails previously, and I thought he would be weak enough. It probably would have been smarter to just try and spam a rocket and escape, either up the LG jump pad or through the lower YA teleporter. But that's not how it happened. All right, again, I'm jumping across, and I should have known that it wasn't safe or gone slower or checked, but, you know, I give him yet another frag. I feel like I did some damage to him, and I'm going to rewind here, because this is, you know, I say like, oh, that was lucky every time I get a frag. This one actually was lucky. We'll take a look at this from his perspective in slow motion for a second. All right, he knows I'm there, and then he turns around. I don't know why he turns around like that. Let's watch it again from my perspective. And you'll see he's totally backwards. So I basically get a free, clean mega health pickup. I'm not sure what he was looking for. Maybe his mouse wigged out. I have no idea. All right. Again, it's probably not smart to run through this corridor with the lightning gun out. Anytime you come to this corridor, there's so many places that you need to look for traps. There's like at least 10 different places that they can hide and do damage to you when you jump for red armor. I mean, you guys know, you don't want to run around with the lightning gun out. It makes too much noise. All right. Again, I don't do a fake jump, which isn't smart. I probably don't check that upper corridor. I jump for it blindly, and I'm fortunate that he misses the rail. But again, against a better player, I would have been punished for doing that so recklessly. All right. We're at 250. And I apologize, but I'm going to rewind a little bit here. We're going to go all the way back to when he just turned around backwards and let me kill him for free. So I pick up mega health. And then I'm going to come up here. I pick up yellow armor, pick up red armor, come down here, and I pick up yellow armor. So in the last 20 seconds, I just got mega, upper YA, red, and then lower YA. The item timers on the right aren't populated because Wolfcam screws up when you navigate through. Let me fix that actually. So let's go on fast forward mode so that the item timers show up correctly. All right, now I'm bad at sequencing. Like, I'm good at timing the red and the mega, but I never pay attention to where the yellows are spawning in relation to the other items. All right, so we're back to 247. And now we can see the item timers. I'm bad at sequencing. I should know the order in which these are going to respawn, and I can use that to trap and choke out my opponent and even deny him the minor items that he needs to try and build his stack back up. But that's something that I fail to do because it's not something I pay attention to. I try and feel out the yellow armors, but it's just kind of like, you know, you're right half the time and you're wrong the other half. Okay, so I'm down 3 frags. And this is my opportunity for aggression. Nothing is spawning for the next 15 seconds, and I just got all the major items. So he's very killable. He really needs to be careful, and I need to just be as aggressive as possible. I can take 200 damage, and it's okay as long as I get the frag. Let's see. All right, let's keep going. Now, this is kind of lucky, like, there I am with the lucky again. I guess I was lucky that I crossed paths with them so easily. Like I say, I'm not good at taking stock of where my opponent is. He just happened to, you know, cross paths with me, and it worked out in my favor. So there he came down for the lightning gun, and now a bunch of the armor should be up. So I got 2 frags already with my stack and with my control. That's good. I'm probably not paying attention to the sequencing of the items. I should know that the upper yellow is still available. I guess I probably knew it, but you just want to try and find a way to cut your opponent off. All right, right here. Not right there. Right there, he gets a good rocket and then a good rail. And red and mega were up at the same time, so I was in this weird position where he got mega, and I'm going to go for red. Now, I shouldn't jump for it because I'm railable. One rail is going to kill me, but I do it anyway. And again, I do it, I know he's down there, but I still kind of do it blindly, so I got lucky. He had mega, and had he hit that rail, he would have had red, and then he would have been back in control. Instead, I hit him with the rail, and I can heal up okay. But that was a big risk on my part, and I'm going to say that it wasn't a smart move. I just did about 60 damage to him there with the plasma spam, which is going to negate some of that mega pickup. Here, I could have gone for the rail shot, but in case if I'd missed, I would have done 0 damage to him. So I go for the lightning gun because I'm guaranteed to do at least some damage, and I just want to chip away at that extra little bonus he has from picking up the mega health. I wouldn't say either player, well, until now, I wouldn't have said that either player was in complete control. Our stacks were probably similar. If we watch that fight in slow motion there, I get the good initial damage. You know, I get the full rocket, his does a little less, but I also got the mega pickup, so that definitely went in my favor. Maybe we should take a look at what that looks like from his perspective from a second. Okay. So no one was in control, but that fight went in my favor, and now I would say I've got control of the map. I should know the timing for both Mega and Red. So now I want to try and catch him out at the yellows. Either he just... Yeah, I probably missed out on that one. So he might actually equal me in stack right now, because I think he might have got both the yellows. And then with that impressive that he picks up, those 2 rails,
5-minute warning.
You know, he really started to turn things in his favor, but he was out of position to pick up that mega. So I was able to pretty much recover from it, but we're kind of in a similar situation again where no one's in complete control. So I have to expect that for these item spawns, he's going to try and challenge for him. But it's still a problem of position. I'm still getting the superior positions on him. So that's why the fights are going my way. I don't know if he knows the mega time. Chase him out of there, easy enough. Okay, again, I'm basically 200 again, and the game's tied. So I closed that 4 frag gap. I did okay at that, but I really need to go on the aggressive. And after this mega fight, I push him out of here. I should know that he's fairly weak, so what I should do is go through the telly, try and cut him off at like the 225 health bubbles or the 50 health bubble. I don't want to let him heal up. I want to get the frag. And instead, I see shiny. I go for 10 hit points. It doesn't make sense. I'm trying to gobble up the items and keep a better stack, but it was a really dumb move. And because of it, I was out of position, and he actually got some good rocket damage on me, evening it up a little more. There, I didn't mean to go through that teleport. The rocket knockback set me up there. Okay, right there, it's a little thing, but I think it's an important thing. I notice watching a lot of pro demos when someone's trapped behind cover like that, the other player is going to try and rail them. Human reaction speed is, at best maybe 100 milliseconds, and anywhere up to like 350, 400 milliseconds for all the potheads that play Quake Live. So if you just peek out for a second, then what you want to do is bait the other player into firing off their railgun prematurely. You want them to think that you're actually going to jump off of the platform when you actually are just going to sneak back. So right there, I pop out and I pop back in and I bait his railgun shot. Now during his cooldown time, I can escape and not worry about getting shot. I noticed that behavior, that trick a lot, basically in every pro demo that you watch. They always do that. All right, Eric Eck is a really good player, and he's given me a lot of very useful coaching sessions on ZTN specifically. And he was telling me that if you're fully stacked and you're in the lower position and they're just raining down nades, but you know that they have a much inferior stack to yours, just rocket jump up. This is not CPM, this is not PQL, there's no instant weapon switching. So they're still going to have the grenade launcher out, and you just rocket jump up, and then you have that height advantage, so your first rocket is probably going to be pretty decent while they're just trying to switch to an appropriate weapon. In this case, he happens to switch to rocket launcher kind of beforehand, but it still doesn't go his way. So I finally display a little bit of aggression, jump up here, and I get the kill. and then I pick up Mega Health. That's the best kill that you can get in Quake. You want to get the kill right before the major items spawn, because you take damage in the fight, but you get the point and then you heal up and you pick up the items so they can't get them. I don't know, you guys know that, but it's important to point out, I think, that I got a fairly clean kill, and then I got the Mega. I'm gonna get the YA. Now, what I did wrong here was, maybe you heard him spawn. Let's watch things from his perspective. Right there. And it's an easy spawn. I just picked up the Mega Health, and instead I run for the yellow armor. He's just right there in the room next to me. That's an easy free kill that I just completely missed out on. I watched so many pro demos, and it's like every time they get a kill at the Mega Health, they just sit right there on that Mega Health. There's 2 spawn points in that rail room to see if you get it. But, it's not horrible. He ended up sticking around in that room for some reason, trying to do damage as I picked up red, and it wasn't worth it because he gave up the frag. So even though I made the mistake of not getting the spawn frag, I still got the frag in the long run. But again, I missed an opportunity here. He dies. We're going to go back to his point of view. Right there. He spawns on the upper grenade launcher platform. Now I'm going to do it again from my perspective just so you can hear what it sounds like. And the reason I'm doing this is because there's another spawn up by the shotgun in that upper corridor, and it either would have sounded different, like it would have sounded like it was above me and not far off to the right, or possibly I wouldn't have heard it at all. Okay, so I heard that over on the right, and I know that he's up on that grenade launcher platform. Or at least I know it watching the demo. I might not have been cognizant of it during the game. But I think I am. So I have a couple options. I could have turned around and just rocket jumped up there. He would either be going for the grenade launcher, going up the stairs to the upper yellow room, or probably, I don't know, maybe running down to get shards and then rocket launcher. My other options would be to go through the telly, and if he's going up the stairs to the upper YA plasma room, I would just catch him right out. If he goes to get shards and then rocket launcher, I could rocket jump up here and just meet him at the rocket launcher. But I opt to go through the teleporter. And I don't know if that's the best decision, but, I'm going to keep trying to deny items. And so I hear him drop there. Grenade launcher's there. So I don't know. I'm not sure what path he took. Not quite there on my analysis yet. Okay, so that's really good for me. I picked up red and then mega, and then got the kill. All right, let's see. Same thing though. After that kill, I should have stuck around. Where is it that I kill him exactly? Okay. Perfect. I have all this health and armor, and I just killed him right here. If you get a kill in this vicinity and you have all the weapons and you have all the stack and control the items, don't move. There's 2 spawns in that room that I'm looking at right now. You shoot that grenade at the rail gun. You try and get the rail, the grenade kill, run him with the lightning gun, whatever. The room to the left of me with the rocket launcher and the yellow armor has 3 spawns. There's one up by the jump pad. There's one up top on the upper ledge, and then there's one on the ground just to the left of the door. If they get any one of those 3, it's a guaranteed kill for you, basically. There's also another spawn directly above me in that shotgun corridor. So, but I don't hang around, and I don't know why. I don't want to say that I heard the spawn, but I don't take advantage of the spawn kills on this map. I get too eager to go make the rounds and collect the items again, and I think it's a mistake. It's something I need to work on, and it's probably why my lead is only 3 frags. I've had this map, it feels like I've had this map locked down pretty well for a while here, and I don't feel like I have the lead that I should have. Alright, he got mega, but I railed him twice, so really not worth anything to him. And finished up the kill there. There actually was, for once, looking for the spawn frag. My rails are really on this game. You'll see I get probably record high accuracy for me on this map at the end of the game. Okay, now when you're in control, like you can't make a mistake. You can't forget to time an item, and I do, and because of it, maybe you didn't see it, he just picked up the mega health, so I lost out on that, and it was stupid. There was no way he should have been able to challenge for that, and now I'm out of position also for the red armor. There's another trick that Eric Eck told me about, like if you're below, and you can do this if you're in control, out of control, whatever, you go for the double rail. If they're going to jump for red armor, you try and rail them as they jump to it and then away from it. Now you don't want to sit there. Notice I have the rocket launcher out. You don't want to sit there with the railgun out because it's going to make noise and they're going to hear it and be able to look out for it. Now at this point, he drops down and he takes the fight. I'm not sure if he's pissed because I just got 2 rails, and he's just kind of raging plus forward. More likely is he just picked up mega health and then the upper yellow armor and then the red armor. So he was working with 200 health and 150 armor. He was almost maxed out. Now that's minus the 2 rails that I hit him, which probably took off 100 armor and 50 health. But even so, he should have around 100. So pretty even to my stack. So maybe he figures he can take the fight and out-aim me and try and get control back. And at this point, I don't think he has another choice. He's down 6 frags and there's less than 2 minutes left. So if he's going to win, he has to kill me right now. So I guess in my notes here, I was going to say it wasn't a smart move, but now that I realize the score line and the time left, it was probably the smartest move he could make because it's the only way for him to get back in and potentially still win the game. But it doesn't work out. All right, at that point, I saw the chat bubble, so I know he's pretty much written this game off. What he's saying is let's try a Texas server next because he's pinging 73, I'm pinging 51, so I do have a slight advantage there. I don't know, for me, over about 60 ping, this game starts to feel really strange, and it is a lot harder to hit my shots. So at this point, he's not really going to play careful anymore. He's just kind of whatever. I mean, he's not just going to run straight at me with the gauntlet out, but there's no way back in, so he's just going to do whatever. So let's just speed it up since this is just garbage time. Yeah, I'm going to go back there. I feel like those rockets are going right through him. It's so weird. Maybe I can... I don't know. Screw it. Speed it up. Alright, one last consolation frag. Okay, so this game's over. 35% lightning gun accuracy is really good for me on ZTN. I do spam LG a lot, where if I think they're coming through a teleporter exit, I'll just sit there and hold it down, which brings my accuracy down. My lightning gun is okay in like LG on LG battles. I do have a lot of problems where when I'm trying to LG somebody who's using rockets, I kind of forget to dodge, so I lose most of those fights. It's like I'm focusing so much on the aim. But anyway, it looks like I didn't... No, I did. I did about 1,000 damage with it, which is decent. So my LG aim was really good on here. My rails were just unheard of high, like 73%, 19 out of 26. So I shot 26 rails and I only missed 7 of them. I'll probably never do that again, and that's definitely a record high for me. So that was a lot of fun. Also, my rockets. If you look at the rocket damage, I shot a lot more, but forget about rocket launcher accuracy because this game is so spammy that number doesn't really mean anything. What is interesting is that, well, okay. What is interesting is the number of rockets that hit versus the damage that you do. So he hit 29 rockets that did about 1,300 damage. I hit 27 rockets, so 2 less, but I did 500 damage more. I did about 1,800 damage with my rockets. So for once, my rockets were pretty on, and in the rocket fights, I was doing more damage. A lot of that is due to the fact that I was in control. That makes it a lot easier to get easier rockets. And a lot of those rockets that I did so much damage with, he didn't have a rocket launcher to fight back. It was, rail versus rockets or LG versus rockets, and I can just get right up in his face. So that's part of the reason for that. But traditionally in those fights, I still lose out. So my rocket launcher skills are definitely improving a bit, which is good. Also, if I can rant about other games for a little bit, I feel like the rocket launcher is the most important weapon in Quake. It's one of the huge things that sets Quake apart from other games that in my opinion, I think are inferior, because other games seem like they're largely hit scan based, like Counter-Strike. And that's fine, but the movement sucks. Like, you can't move fast in Counter-Strike, so it's all aim, and it's just kind of boring. There are other games that do have projectiles, say like the Battlefield series, but players still can't move fast. So if someone has good aim with a projectile and they're at a close enough range, there's really no dodging. Quake is so different in that regard that even up close, you can move quick enough and juke your opponent that you can still dodge these projectile weapons. It's just, I don't know, the skill ceiling on Quake is just so much higher. It's just a much better game. But anyway, so I'm about a 1,300 ELO player on QLranks.com, but I bet that if I could aim this well consistently, I could get, maybe up to 1,500 or 1,600. I think with that improved aim, maybe I would start making some better decisions too, whatever. Anyway, don't put, too much stock into the ELO rating. I still kind of think of it as a broad stroke. But, this was a good game for me. I really dominated the items. My shots were on, and it was a lot of fun. I have 2 more ZTN games that I plan on casting really soon. So subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already yet, and watch out for those. Thanks, guys.